Hello friends and potential friends. Well, you may have seen me pulling carrots the other day, and at the time it was pretty hot around here. In fact, it got up to about 90 degrees yesterday in the garden. So instead of trying to can the carrots right away, I went ahead and put them in jars of water and put them in the refrigerator. I find that keeps them nice and crisp and fresh for a few days till I can do something with them. The weather guessers apparently were right. They said it was going to be cool today, and we're struggling to get up to 70. So I figure this is a good time to heat up the kitchen a little bit and get those carrots into jars. I've got all my implements of destruction out here, my pressure canner, got some lids in water warming up a little bit, a bowl of vinegar for wiping the rims, all my various tools. Got 8 jars out here that I've scrubbed down good, and that should be enough for all those carrots, I hope. If not, I'll just have some carrots for supper tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and drain the water off of these, cut down some of the bigger ones. Most of them, you notice, are pretty tiny. I'm calling them baby carrots. You pay a premium for those in the grocery store. I got a few nice sized ones. There's some that are up to about 6 inches long in there. Most of them running about 3 to 4 inches, with a lot of tinier ones in the 2-inch range. But I've been eating quite a few of those fresh, and they sure are sweet. So let me pause this for now, because basically I'll have my back to the camera and be blocking everything. But I'm going to go ahead and drain those carrots, get them in the jars, and get them ready to go in the canner. Okay, got all my jars filled up. Actually, I only filled up 7, and I've got enough for supper tonight. I just need to go through and wipe the... Now, before I do that, make sure there's no bubbles in there. Don't want any air hiding down there amongst the carrots. Now, do I need more water? A little bit for that one. Maybe a little bit for that one. I'm leaving about 1/2 inch of head space. The rest of those look pretty good. Now, wipe the rims. Grab a lid. I did have these lids in the warm water just to soften them up just a little bit. I know they say you don't have to do that anymore, but I figure it doesn't hurt. And incidentally, all these lids are fairly old. I bought them back well before the lockdown. From what I understand, Ball has changed the formula on their jars and lids recently, and supposedly they're not as good as the old ones were. Put a ring on there and tighten them down finger tight. And drop them into the canner. really enough room for 8 jars in one layer in here, but I only have 7, so that's what I'm going to do. Now we just turn up the heat, get the lid, get it ready to go, and wait to see what's next. Okay, we're starting to come up to temperature. I don't know whether you can see the steam coming out of there. It does have a pretty good flow of steam. So I'm going to set the timer for about 10 minutes and let it vent for a minimum of 10 minutes. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, that's 10 minutes. Been venting pretty good. Everything's nice and clear. Now it's time to put the jiggler on there. Now I just wait until it comes up to pressure. And then I sit here for 40 minutes. Okay, you may be able to see that I'm at about 11 pounds of pressure. So I'm going to start playing with the stove. Set the timer for 40 minutes. I like to keep it right at about 11 instead of 10, so I have a little bit of wiggle room there. And where I'm at, I'm a dozen or so feet above sea level. So all the rules say 10 pounds of pressure for me. If you're at a higher elevation, then set your pressures accordingly. But here in Florida, it's hard to get sand to pile up very high, so 10 pounds it is. And now I follow one of my most standard rules. Whenever I'm using the pressure canner, I stay in the kitchen. So 40 minutes for pints, 45 minutes for quarts if you're canning quarts of carrots. Okay, that's the end of the time. Okay, stove's turned off. Move this over off that hot burner. And we'll let it sit there for a few hours and cool off. And then I'll bring you back for the big reveal. Well, it's been a couple of hours. Let's see what we got here. Okay, pressure's at 0, that thing's down, that can come off. Still, you want to make sure you open this thing away from you because there could still be some steam in there. And now we go digging in here to see what we got. Baby carrots. Look good? Seven pints of baby carrots ready for the pantry. They'll sit out here overnight. Tomorrow morning I'll check and see make sure they've all sealed, label them, and put them in the shelves. So that's the end of this process, and I'll see you next time.